Hello there guys, Plays here, currently going to be bringing you an Age of Empires 2 gameplay video. Now, in this video, I just made a great comeback from a tower rush. So, let's get straight into the replay. Alright, so, the tower rush, I've never really liked getting tower rush, but now, these days, I'm kind of starting to learn how to counter it. Because the tower rush, it's not much of a game changer to me unless it's executed by a very, very skilled person. The tower rush is not the greatest thing ever. So, getting into the game now, we're both just collecting our sheep. A little bit of villager mischief there, collecting both sheep. Over here, I've got 6 villagers collecting sheep. He's got his 5 villagers on one sheep and 2 villagers on the other sheep. He's got a llama because he's playing as the Incas. He gets to start with the free llama, which is basically just a sheep, for those of you who don't know. Now I'm currently collecting my wild boars, getting the other one. He is not yet getting his wild boar. I'll show you his. He's gotten his first wild boar. I've gotten my first a little bit earlier. It's gonna tip the scale for food a little bit early, a little bit more. But then again, let's stand the game. Currently, he's got a mill and lumber camp and 2 houses. I've just got a mill and lumber camp. So currently it does appear that I do have some sheep there. I do have a fair bit of sheep. Doesn't look like he has any sheep in reserve, so his scout is going to need to find some sheep. Now he is starting to collect stone. This is the first sign of a tower rush. If you see them collecting stone around the Dark Age, that normally means they're going to do a tower rush. So it's best to be prepared to getting town watch, or building military buildings in the feudal age, in order to stop the opponent's tower rush from dealing too much damage to your economy. Now over here you can see I'm falling back behind a little bit in the score. Now the wolf dealing some damage to these villagers. He's got his eagle scout over here making sure nothing happens. He's got a nice hill where he can do his tower rush over here. So we're both in feudal. I'm catching up a little bit score-wise, going for my deer here. Is he going for his deer? No, does not look like he is going for his deer. Now, he is building the first tower over here, building a barracks as well with his other villager, so that it will get done around about the same time. It gets done earlier. I find it, I send my villagers to destroy it. He's going to Eagle Scouts in order to counter it, but he's just kind of getting his gold here. Now, that's how he's affording the Eagle Scouts. He's getting the gold over here. Now, it doesn't appear that he's actually in such a rush to get into the Castle Age, because currently, if he continues producing Eagle Scouts, he's going to have a disadvantage because he's going to have to collect gold. He is going into archers, however, this means that he is going to need more gold production, limiting the amount of villagers he can put onto food. Now he has a fair bit of lumberjacks, fair bit of everything. Fair bit of food, but he is losing the food. He's got some intention of saving up to the Castle Age, but his food is currently going down. Over on my side, you can see I'm going to go into the cavalry archers to kind of try and raid his economy before he does too much damage to my economy. However, he does rush me first, which is a fair bit of disadvantage. His farmers losing their farms, a couple of idle villagers there. Won't be that much of a deal, however, later on in the game, if he does notice that in a while, he will lose a fair bit of resources gathered, unless he does notice that and he just doesn't have the resources to counter it. Now, builds another villager, pretty scary, another tower, pretty scary. He's taking my wood line now. Now, I just moved my wood line, normally in these sorts of scenarios, to the other side of my base. I've got another town center. He, on the other hand, has only got one town center, which is most likely mass-producing villages. Yep, it's going to the Castle Age already. Now, he's got a minor disadvantage because he did get to the Castle Age quicker than me. However, I am currently using the market to get some resources. He doesn't expect it because all 3 of my golds are on this side. He's pretty much taken over all 3 of my golds. Well, he hasn't taken over this one yet entirely, but I didn't know where his units were. Now, I am doing a little bit of cavalry archer raiding on this side. He is, however, going to get those units down here. He is going to do a fair bit of damage to my economy. However, hopefully I will regenerate. Trying to get the stable down so I can get some knights out later. But currently, these guys are just slowly getting worn down by my town centers and villages. Taking over his gold line. He's countering this with his spearmen and eagle warriors. I'm currently in my town centers slightly idle, mostly because of the fact that I don't have a lot of food. However, he takes my other wood line. However, I already do have another wood line cooked up over here, so it won't really affect me all that much. My cavalry archers eventually going to take that one out. Eventually going to take those guys out. Now, collecting a bit of stone because I do want to build a castle over here to make sure that never happens again, because it's out of range of this town center and kind of able to shoot up the cliff towards these villages. Don't really like that. He's in the castle age. He's put a castle down in order to counter my TC. This TC is only producing villages that are heading straight over to here. Some cavalry archers waiting over here just to make sure he ain't rushing at me. And over here, once this castle gets done, he can't get in here. He's going to need some pretty interesting units to get through that. Now, you can see here is forming a bit of a defense force. Now, I do need to find a solution to my gold problem. I have no gold whatsoever. I can't do anything without gold. Well, I can make a few units, but they're not powerful enough to stop the enemy. So, right now, by the time the market price drops down, I'll have hopefully found a solution to my gold issue. However, I do need gold if I am ever going to win this game, because I cannot constantly rely on the market, because the market will eventually make pretty much gold worth a lot for me. I'm not sure if he knows that I'm in a really tight gold situation, but at this stage I'm just trying to get gold from my old gold deposit, which I was trying to do in order to, because the market prices were dropping quickly, and because I needed to maintain night production. Doing a little bit of night production. However, I do indeed find a gold on his side that I have indeed managed to capture through raiding and power. Now, his Eagle Scout does spot mine. Eagle Warrior, not Scout. I've got some knights over here pushing forward, taking out this wood line currently. Took out one of the Eagle Scouts. Now, he can't do much to counter this. He's just lost his entire wood line. He's about to lose his gold line. He loses his gold line. He can't produce any more Eagle Scouts. I've got a mangonel ready, most likely to destroy his town center, which is to destroy his town center. Now, he's got Eagle Scouts. He can't really. Let's see how much gold he has at this stage. He appears to have 135 gold. He cannot keep Eagle Scout production up unless something changes. He is beginning to create pikemen. He is hoarding a little bit of food but he doesn't have the wood. Now, I do have a second mangonel coming up here. I've got a lot of cavalry archers and knights keeping the pressure down on him. He can't really do much on this side. He just doesn't have the resources to. He can't do much on this side either because he just doesn't have the resources to. He can only focus on one side and only a little bit. So, on my side here, pretty calm. Just taking out some of his villages, producing more mangonels to take out that other TC just in case he's got something up his sleeve. However, he did just take out my mangonels with those pikemen. Now, mangonels are pretty much the castle age version of a trebuchet because they can outrange your town center, which makes them very deadly. He's got 3 villages over here, most likely just been evacuated. He doesn't really have any villages broadly down here. He did lure my 2 knights over here towards his castle, but he did lose a villager. And at this stage, he pretty much barely has anything to defend himself with. He's lost his town center. He's already done a push with pikemen, I believe. He's still got some units stored up here, most likely for a push with pikemen. He's going to make the push with pikemen. Gonna take out these knights. However, I do manage to get away quickly. The mangonel just destroying everything they can see. Built a town center to harvest more of his gold. Here I'm already harvesting a lot of his gold, and at this stage it's pretty much just my economical benefit from this. He's pretty much just not getting anything. He's lost his entire pipe and push, and he calls the GG. He just resigns. So he didn't really have a lot of points to evacuate to. He could evacuate to here, but didn't have any gold whatsoever, and I'd already dropped the market prices. He could evacuate up to here, but that would have been very close to my town, which would be very dangerous for him and his people. So let's take a look at some of the after game stats. Alright. So here we've got total score. Of course, I win. So I win on economy, military, technology, and society, and overall, I also win. I beat him in every single form of food collection. He did get that rather high amount of stone in order to get those towers in that castle down. He did get to the feudal age first, which let him get that tower rush 9 seconds before I got to the feudal age, which might have been a benefit because I wouldn't have been able, like, I didn't pull off the greatest fast castle, but something of a fast castle. Now here we've got him getting 9 seconds before me to the feudal age in order to do that tower rush. Castle age, I got 10 minutes before him. Map explored, he did explore slightly more map than me, which means he could have seen more points that he could have gathered some resources from. Research, he did get more technologies, which gave him that slightly higher vantage point in military variety production. Total castles, we both got broke even on 1. Villager high, he didn't have, like, he didn't produce a lot of villages, whereas I did. Even though he did tower rush me, I just moved my town to the other side and pretty much just made my villages there. On the timeline, you can pretty much see we got to the feudal age on the same, roundabouts roughly the same time, and it wasn't that much of a difference because he only got to the feudal age 9 seconds before me. Well, but the castle age drop off between the feudal and castle age, I obviously won. And yeah, so I do hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.